They had stars in their eyes for real estate investing, and right away they were $90,000 in the hole. How Jay and Samera Harvey dug themselves out with mobile home investing. Hey, welcome into the show today. I'm Kyle Stanley. You're listening to the Fearless Investor Podcast or watching on YouTube. And if you are watching on YouTube, do me a favor really quick, click like, click subscribe, and leave a comment right now. If you're watching on YouTube, we would love for you to do that. The more interaction we have, the more opportunity we have to interact with you. But at the same time, the more action that happens on these videos, the more we're able to get out to a number of people. So we would really love if you're able to just take 2 seconds to do that. Now, I want to get really deep into this conversation with Jay and Samera Harvey. They are two very warm and awesome people that really have a story of struggle, a story of, I think, which a lot of you probably are listening to right now. You're just wondering, is real estate the one thing that's going to help fulfill me? And, I always struggle with that on a daily basis. What's my purpose? What are the things that I need to do to fulfill me? And they were trying everything in the book before real estate. And then they got into real estate. They, for a lot of people, failed miserably right in the beginning. And they could have hung up their shoes and really said, let's go back to our 9-to-5 job. But you're going to hear why they didn't do that and why they stuck with it and how they used mobile home investing in order to get there. And in a very short amount of time, not only have done over 400 deals and are making upwards of 5 figures per month, close to 6 figures sometimes per month, but they're also helping so many students to make 10 grand in their first week to get a business started in a really unconventional real estate exit strategy. And so that's why I'm excited for you to learn today. Let's go ahead and get to it. All right, we've got some California natives on the call here with Jay and Samera. They are from Irvine, California. They are the operators of Trailer Cash Academy, and that's cash with a C. And so we're really excited. I'm excited to talk about this because I always hear Brandon from Bigger Pockets talking about like wanting to get into mobile home investing. I've just never really learned a whole lot about it, and that's what we're going to talk about today. So guys, thanks so much for being on the call.
Yeah, thank you for having us. We are excited to talk about mobile homes, bring some value to your listeners as well.
Perfect. Well, either one of you wants to answer this first question. I'm assuming in this world of mobile home parks, there's probably a lot of stories that you have, but what is maybe one of the most interesting investing stories that you've had in this world?
Yeah. So one of the most interesting deals was actually our very first deal that we did. We got into a mobile home deal. We're really green, didn't know much. When we walked the property, the seller told us there was a plumbing issue, but we didn't think it was a too big of a deal. And then when we actually started renovating the property, we actually got it all ready and we thought that we had the plumbing issue fixed. But when we put it on the market the same day, there was literally shit coming everywhere.
Yeah.
Oh no.
Yeah. When we flush the toilet, there'd be crap coming all out of the toilet and everything like that. And we were it was one of our first deals. So we were frustrated. We were worried. We were like, why us? Why is this happening right now? We had just put the for sale sign in the door. Obviously, we took the for sale sign down, and luckily we were able to get that problem fixed. It took a few days, but we were able to rectify the problem and still get it sold in less than a week.
Yeah, it was bad. Like you would flush the toilet, there'd be poop coming out of the tub. There was literally poop coming off of the roof. We were like, how is this plumbing done? It was crazy.
All right. Well, there's our welcome into the show today. So that's gross, but hey, at least first deal, you get the shitty one out of the way.
Yep. Yeah. There you go. Bum.
All right. Well, hey guys, I really want to hear how you got into this. Why, of all real estate investing exit strategies, why mobile homes? And just kind of catch us up. Both of you were doing this together. I always love seeing couples doing this together, and that's exciting for me. So just if you can give us a little bit of the story of your background, I'd love to hear this.
Yeah, we were in the corporate world. Samera was a CPA. I was in the financial analysis position, and we just felt unfulfilled. We did everything we were supposed to do. We went to school. I served in the military. We both got degrees. Like I said, she got our CPA, and then we got to the jobs, and we were just like, man, this is not what we want to do. We're not feeling fulfilled. the positions that we, saw our managers had that we had to work hard to get to, we saw the life they were living. We were just like, we do not want that. I want to feel more purposeful, more meaningful with my life. And we tried a few things. We tried, photography. We tried personal training, opening up a fitness boot camp. We even tried some of those crazy rap things. Samera had me out there in the Targets and the grocery stores trying to sell those things, chasing people down. So we tried a bunch of things. One day, Samera actually got hit with an ad from Rich Dad Poor Dad. And it was an event out in Phoenix. She threw it my way, and I'm like, yeah, we have to make it there.
Yeah, we were, it's just something different. We were it was a place where we were looking for another opportunity. So we went to the Rich Dad seminar. We were blown away at what was possible with real estate investing. We had never heard of this before outside of the Rich Dad book, the actual Rich Dad Poor Dad book. And so we were just fired up. We were like, man, we're going to do this. Like, this is perfectly complements both of our skills. We could work together on this. And then we decided to just jump in, and we got into a couple of pretty bad deals coming out the gate. The first one, we actually hired a mentor, and we put $30,000 of our own cash on a fix and flip. Come to find out, he was a scammer. He basically was taking people's money, ran off with their cash. And then literally weeks after that, before we found out that deal wasn't good, we had invested $60,000 into a fix and flip that was a burnout completely. You walk in, you could see there was no roof. There was barely any walls. It was completely burned down. And we, being green, thought we would get our money back within 3 to 4 months. It actually ended up taking over 15 months to get our money back and a small profit. And so we were pretty cash strapped at that time, but we were still eager. We were still willing to learn, and we wanted to still push forward with real estate.
Yeah. So luckily we had some good friends that invited us out to an event. One of the RIAs, they had a small event going on. There was a guy, he had a class just talking about mobile homes. He said he was, making $25,000 to $30,000 a month. He wasn't using much of his own money on those deals. If so, somewhere between $5,000, maybe $7,000 on those opportunities. And I got all that information, and I ran home. I told Samera, like, man, we were kind of in the wrong lane. There's this huge opportunity here, but it's mobile homes. And her first reaction to me was mobile homes. Hell no. When I think about mobile homes, I'm thinking trailer trash, 8 Mile. There was no opportunity in there. But after we started doing our research, we saw the need. We saw the ability to serve because of the affordable housing crisis in the country. And up to this day, we've done over 400 transactions.
Wow.
But we're really happy about serving thousands of students, across the nation, and helping them close their first deal.
This is really funny because, I mean, you and I, the three of us got on this call before we started recording, and we found out that I lived in Arizona at the same time as you. We were both living in California right now. And my path was also through health and fitness and a multi-level marketing company to leading me to a Fortune Builders event, which I said yes to. So like a lot of ties here. This is kind of cool.
Yeah.
So bring me back to when you are $90,000 in the hole. You've just been scammed. You are thinking you're going to get a great turnaround on this $60K deal that you did. And now you realize this is going to take a lot longer than we thought. What, like at that point, especially since you had tried so many things, you tried photography, you tried the health and fitness stuff. At that point, was there any question of if you were going to continue to push forward?
Yeah, at that time, we were doubting ourselves. We took a huge hit just with our confidence. Even our marriage was tested at the time because honestly, we felt like we couldn't trust each other. So in that moment, we were really confused. We were really scared, and we were kind of questioning the whole investment route. We're like, why are we even doing this? Was this meant to be? Maybe we should have just stayed within our 9 to 5. It was good. It was comfortable. And as long as we, quote unquote, shut up in color, we know we would have a solid paycheck coming in every couple of weeks.
Yeah, but when we actually ran the numbers of, okay, how long, if we just work our job and just continue to just put a little bit of money on that debt and on, the money that we lost, how long will it take us to get that money back? It was like, there's no way we can just keep doing the same thing. We have to make a shift. We have to push past our fears because we didn't want it to end like that. We're like, yeah, we jumped in head first, but this can't be the end of it. And we didn't want to, even our family and friends knew about this going on. So we just didn't want to kind of end on a sour note like that.
Yeah, so we were like, hey, we've learned our way up to this point. We have to make a decision to learn our way out.
That's good. That's really good. So you hear this guy talking about he's making $25,000 to $30,000 on these mobile homes. You bring it home to Samera, and she says, "Hell no." But Samera, what was the thing that you saw that changed your mind and said, "Okay, let's give this a shot"?
Yeah. So it was really, I'm a numbers person. I was a CPA. So if it has to, the numbers have to add up for me to be excited about it. And when we really started running the numbers and finding out, man, we can find these properties for under $5,000 in Phoenix. We can, seller finance them and have cash flow. Once we really started running the numbers on it, like, man, if we just get 10 mobile homes that cash flow $300 per month, that can pay off our expenses. We can get out of these jobs and we can kind of really build from there. So once we really started crunching the numbers and seeing how possible it was and how inexpensive it was to actually purchase these mobile homes, that's what really got me excited about it.
That's awesome. Okay, so that leads me into, what does a mobile home transaction look like in your business? You mentioned some cash flow. I was kind of over here thinking maybe it was flips, maybe it was wholesales, but are you holding on to all of these?
So at this point, we're not holding on to all of them. And even with our newer students, we usually teach them, hey, focus on building as much revenue in your business as possible. So many people are focused on just getting the cash flow. And although with mobile home investing, it's great, the opportunity is there, you still can become cash strapped. And because this isn't, like single family homes, it's not actual real estate, it's just personal property. It's very hard to get any type of loans, and it's very hard to convince any type of investors that their money is safe in these homes. So what we do is we teach them, hey, when you're starting out, focus on wholesaling, focus on even brokering deals just to begin with.
Yeah, but we actually teach 5 different strategies. So we do teach how to fix and flip because that's what we did getting started. We do teach, when you're ready and when, once you build up that revenue, we teach to actually reinvest that money into creating passive income and getting some cash flows so that you can, replace your expenses. You can get out of your 9 to 5 a lot faster and have some secure, stable income coming in.
And just to give you an example, one of the deals we recently did, we actually partnered on it with our student. The individual actually gifted us the home for free. She had a tenant in there who was renting it out from her, but he ended up stopped making payments. He ended up trashing the place, and she was left with this home, but she was also left with the lot rent. She couldn't afford the lot rent each month. She definitely couldn't afford to fix the place up and put it back on the market. So she's like, hey, I don't want to risk being evicted from this park. I don't want this on my credit. How about I gift you guys a home? You guys take over the lot rent. You guys can do what you want with it. So we ended up paying 1 month of lot rent, about $525, but we ended up selling the home in less than 7 days for 10 grand. We got cashed out.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
The great thing about mobile homes is that it's, in most states, transferring ownership is like selling a used car. You just sign the back of a title, like a car title, and transfer it at the DMV. So the process is a lot faster than going through escrow and title and inspections. It's literally, you have the cash, I have the title, I'll sign it, and I'll give it to you. So it's really great. Quick transactions.
Yeah, what you just described kind of sounds like basically subject to for a home in real estate. So what is there any difference there compared to subject to, if you are familiar with that?
Yeah, I mean, with that, she didn't have any pre-existing mortgage or anything. She owned the home free and clear. She just has to pay the lot rent because in most mobile home parks, the tenants own the home and the park rents the land. So she's just owing each and every month to house her home or keep her home in that park.
And it is pretty similar. So if she was to stop making those payments, the park could obviously file for eviction and actually file to take over possession of title for that home. So not only could she have that on her credit, she could also ultimately end up losing the home, which happens a lot of the time. Many parks end up getting these homes for free. They'll go in, put somewhere between $3,000 and $6,000 worth of repairs into it, and then they'll just end up putting it back on the market themselves, cashing out on the home itself, and then, of course, the lot rent for 4 to 6 years.
Okay, that makes sense. So is this a typical deal that you guys deal with, or what would be a more cookie cutter deal that you come across more often?
Yeah, cookie cutter deal for us. I'll go ahead and explain kind of like a quick cash deal. I'll let you explain kind of the cash flow deal.
Mm.
So we might find a home for somewhere. Let's just say we're able to purchase a home for $8,000. This individual, they want $10,000 for the home. We're able to get it for $8,000, and then we know that the home value is probably worth $20,000. But what we'll do is we'll put it on the market for somewhere below market value. We won't put any type of repairs into it. The great thing about mobile homes is you only need to make sure the big 5 ticket repair items are functional. That's the subflooring, the roofing, the electrical, the plumbing, and the AC. Most of the time with our deals, those are good to go. And our buyer, as long as you're selling it at the right price, they'll actually go in there and put any type of repairs themselves, especially with the cosmetic. These are not HGTV homes. So what we'll do is we'll purchase that home for $8,000. We'll probably sell it somewhere around $16,000. Our buyer feels like they're getting a win. They're saving $4,000. They can actually put that money into the home. Our seller is happy. They've gotten $8,000, and then we've profited $8,000 on that home ourselves. And usually, most of the time, those are done in under 30 days.
Yeah. And as far as cash flow deals, it's kind of the same concept. Usually, with cash flow deals, we want to be able to get all of our investment back within 6 months or less. That's kind of the standard we have. We know other investors that do, 12 months or 2 years, but we like 6 months or less. So in the same situation, we purchased the property for $8,000, but now since we are going to collect payments on it, we're going to finance the buyer. We can charge even higher than $20,000. We could charge a little bit more, maybe $22,000 for the property. And what we would do is ask for anywhere between $5,000 to $6,000 down on the property, and then we would cash flow anywhere between $300 to $500 per month for the next 4 to 6 years as they pay off the remaining balance of the loan.
That's awesome. I love that.
Yeah. And of course you can charge interest on that as well because you're, financing it.
That's great. So how quickly did this all move for you? And especially maybe with some students of yours, how quickly can this move for people?
So for us in particular, just being completely transparent, we had a lot of doubt, a lot of fear to get over. It was a lot of head trash we had. So it took us a while just to build up that momentum. So it took us a little over 3 months to get our first deal. However, we've had students come into our program and get deals in just a matter of days. Everyone's 24 hours are different. It all depends on how much of the 24 hours you use towards actually building up your craft, mastering this craft. So we've had students come in, get deals within a couple of days. On average, most students are able to close deals within 90 days.
Yeah. And, for us, when we first got started, that poopy deal that we talked about in the beginning, that was a rough one. I mean, we were happy to get the process done. We, made $800 or so in profit on that. But once we got the concept, once we understood what we were doing, within 6 months after we had done that first deal, we were able to actually do a number of deals where we were actually both able to leave our 9-to-5 jobs. And we replaced our income with the mobile home cash flow.
That's so awesome. So, I mean, looking back to one thing that stood out, Jay, that you said is your trust and your relationship was really rocked during all of those hard times. Now, looking forward to where you're at today, where's the relationship, and how much has this business played a role in your marriage?
Oh man, this business has played a huge role. It's had us at the brink of almost, giving up. It's tested us to the fullest. But I would say where we're at now compared to where we were, we simply didn't know our roles. We didn't even know how to communicate to each other. We also were working from 8 in the morning till 8 at night. So now we've got some hard stops in the day. And because there's 2 of us, we actually know our roles. We're able to balance out each other's strengths and weaknesses and communicate at a higher level so that even when we make some mistakes, which we still do to this day, we're able to still communicate to each other, and we're not able to walk around with our head held low and lose our confidence. By us balancing each other out, we're able to actually do more work and get more deals done.
Yeah, and I would just add on to that, through all of those tests and all of those hard times, we've learned how to trust each other a lot more. I think going through those struggles actually helped us to look at each other more instead of looking away. And that's really been key for our relationship in other areas of our relationship as well. It's just, we've gone through worse. We've gone through some tough stuff. And so, the little things don't get on our nerves as much because we know, what we're in it for, and we know we can really trust each other.
That's awesome. Well, and so I got to imagine, going kind of back to the business here, and you've said you've done over 400 transactions in really a short amount of time. And now you're helping a lot of people through coaching. I do the same. I knew that with my business, in order to go help other people, I really had to systematize it and automate it in order to go really help people. So is that possible? I see you shaking your head both at the same time. I imagine this is very possible.
It's very possible. And that's was and is our biggest focus is, we like to work smarter, not harder. And we know that we have to leverage technology, other people, and delegation to make that happen. And so that's been a huge focus of ours, since we started, kind of getting into doing a few deals. We're like, hey, this takes, work. It takes a team. How can we save our time here? How can we allow somebody else to do the work here? And even now, with a lot of our students, we do partnership deals where there are boots on the ground. We're able to, do the lead generation, and we're able to partner on the deals and kind of coach them through it.
Yeah, and not only is it possible, we truly believe that it's completely necessary in order for you to level up, in order for you to handle more, expand your capacity by just leveraging other people's time, leveraging other people's knowledge, using the technology we have in 2020, to build out those systems and processes to make your job a lot easier. Of course, when you're just starting out, you're having to learn everything. You got that hustler cap on. But eventually, once you start to learn more, you start to get more people around you. You can leverage their time. You implement those systems and processes. You're able to do more deals. We're doing a lot of deals in Arizona. However, we're living in Irvine. We wouldn't be able to do that without the right people, systems, and processes in place.
That's so good. My mind is really running over here because I'm thinking, like, I wonder if you can do an Airbnb in a mobile home and just hold on to it yourself and do that. Have you guys ever thought about just owning it yourself and maybe not Airbnb, but actually just putting a tenant in there rather than actually owner financing it?
There are individuals that do that. I would say it's rare, only because with parks, they want to vet out everybody that's coming into that home. So they might vet you out as the owner, but if you got someone in there, even if it's 30 days, they want to understand that person's background. So that's the biggest issue you're going to run into, not just from park managers, but the park owners.
Yeah, and most of them, they don't allow rentals either. Most parks don't, because again, they want to kind of deal with the actual homeowner. So it's a lot easier to sell or finance these homes, but rentals is, it's not necessarily our strategy. If you have a mobile home that's on its own private land, then that's, perfectly fine. But when they're inside of mobile home parks, that strategy becomes more difficult. And we don't want to be landlords. It's never been a part of our MO.
With the tenant, they want to see that title. So even as us, we're simply acting as a bank. That individual can go and take that title in. They'll show that individual is the owner of the home, but will still be at least the lien holder on the property. And it just doesn't work out when you have renters in there.
Okay. What other things, or maybe what's one more thing that we just haven't talked about that people need to know about in this exit strategy before they get in?
Yeah, I would say that, one thing that really, really shocked us when we first got started is just the demand for these properties. I think, coming into it, you may have some stigma about mobile homes or trailers. And I know I had the stigma. So I was like, are we even going to be able to sell these things? Are there people that want to live in this? Is there any value in them? But, just testing the market and looking at, when we have properties and seeing that, hey, we're getting hundreds of hits on these properties. We're getting hundreds of people knocking our door down just to get into the property because of the demand for affordable housing and how big that crisis really is in America. It really gave us an insight that, man, this is really helping a lot of people. We're serving the community, and we're able to provide something that's a necessity for a lot of families, especially with the recession we're going into right now.
Yeah, many families, they can't necessarily go and get approved for a single family home. Some individuals just look to choose to live a more affordable lifestyle. So that's where we come in. That's where we help them find that affordable manufactured home, but they still want that privacy. A lot of them don't necessarily want that apartment lifestyle. They still want us to have that pride of ownership just like anyone else. And many of the individuals we work with, they're just working to build up their credit score so they can go and get approved for that home for the loan, or home loan for the home. So yeah, man, it's a huge market out here, and more of us are needed because people just need help.
That's good. Okay. Well, how can people get started with Trailer Cash Academy? How can they get connected with you?
Yeah, so the best place to get started is to go to our YouTube channel. We've got lots and lots of free trainings on there just to give all of the people that are, potentially interested in this a better idea of how the deals work, what are the tips and tricks, what are some of our success students doing. So you can go to youtube.com/Trailer Cash Academy. You can visit our channel and soak up hours and hours of information if you like to. And then there's a lot of information out there. And then if you'd like to, take it a step further, work with us, join our family, we can apply to join. There's a link below those videos inside of the YouTube videos.
Wonderful. Awesome. Well, any last words before we log off here?
Yeah, first of all, we just want to thank you for allowing us to come on your platform and just share our message for any of you guys that are really interested in getting started. Although we say these deals are pretty simple on the big scheme of things, they do take work. It takes a lot of time, it takes a lot of effort, it takes a lot of energy, not just understanding the craft, but sometimes you run into issues just like with any other niche within real estate. So we don't want to come across and say everybody's going to be able to get a deal done in their first couple of days. It does take a lot of hard work and effort.
Yeah. I mean, you are the variable, right? You can have, and someone told me this the other day too, which I really loved, which is YouTube gives you vision, but coaching gives you direction. So I really want to encourage people, yes, go over to your YouTube page. But at the same time, if you truly believe in yourself, you've got to have someone right there with you, because I don't care how good you are on your own. I don't care how much you are different than, the 99%, you still are going to have those things that are going to be to you roadblocks, where to people like you, Samera and Jay, are just bumps in the road and can easily be avoided. So I'm really, really excited to go check out that YouTube channel myself and continue to learn about this. But both of you, thank you so much for being on the show today and helping our audience to conquer the world of investing.
Absolutely. It was a pleasure.
Thank you.
Show notes for this one are fearlesskyle.com/trailer cash. And that is trailer, just like a mobile home trailer, and cash like money, not trash, cash. Okay. So go over there, check it out. There is a link to their YouTube page there, but there's also a link to their website, which is just trailercashacademy.com. And I love this idea, because what for me is so interesting is this idea of very little amount of money. Like if you have any money, if I'm going to go flip a house, I usually have to go raise other people's money, because it's going to cost me usually 6 figures to do that. And I don't have 6 figures just laying around ready to get put into one property. However, with this, it can cost $5,000, $6,000, $10,000, maybe $20,000 at the most, which is very doable for your first 1 or 2 deals until you want to scale. So I really like this idea. And I like the idea of using money creatively too. We've had Bill Jennings on the show. If you haven't watched him, you got to go check him out. If you can use business lines of credit through Bill to be able to go start this business and buy 1 or 2 homes right away, there's your solution for not needing any money to get started in this. So I just think there's so much opportunity with this. And I really encourage you, once again, go to the show notes, fearlesskyle.com/trailer cash. And that is where you can find all the info. So thanks so much for joining us today on the Fearless Investor Podcast. And thank you for allowing me to help you to conquer real estate investing. We'll talk to you next time.